Hello, my name is Julia Genoveva, and we're back. Episode number 6. It's gonna get artsy with my amazing co-host, Gus Ferrari. Hi, Gus.
Hello, hello.
How are you today? How's everyone doing today?
Good.
Doing great, thank
Pretty
you.
good today. Thank you.
Great. I am so excited about this episode because we are getting to know the actors in Genoveva Writers Workshop. So we are in what I would call season 2. So we are like halfway through our 6 sessions. We're like in the middle. Our 3rd session is coming up, and I have been curious about getting to know everyone a little more who participates in the workshop. You are all extremely talented actors, artists. I am really, really grateful that you're a part of this workshop world. Gus, wouldn't you agree with that?
I would agree with that. I'll get into it later, but I had the pleasure of directing Laurie in a play, and that was I'm a fan of hers. Put it that way.
I'm a fan of yours. Great director.
Yeah, you remember this prop, right? You used it
Oh,
on
yeah.
So it's a little throwback. So I would like to, get to know all the actors a little bit more. So I would like to introduce amazing actress Marie Wall. I'm just curious to know how you started your acting career and what brought you on the workshop, and how has your experience been from week to week tackling like all these different characters?
Oh, thank you, Julia. I am having the best time. This workshop is amazing, and I feel like it's, as an actor, it's just so important to have something, weekly. Like it's keeping me very inspired, and it's keeping the momentum going of my constantly working on my craft. I fell in love with the theater in high school. So I did all of the plays, and I'm an only child, so it's like very in my, I have a vivid imagination because I had to entertain myself quite a bit. So yeah, I got the bug, and it's been a long time, and I've been at it since. I met Julia through Manhattan Theater Rep, which is such an awesome company too. And we were in a play together, so that's how I ended up here. So yeah, I'm very, very excited. I love this workshop.
I do have to talk a little bit about how Marie and I met. We played Plants. It was so funny. It was like a really funny play. And Ken Wolf, who is the co-artistic director of Manhattan Repertory Theater, he is also like a very amazing person and so nice to work with. But that's how we met, and we've been together ever since. We can put it that way.
Yes. I forget. I was a begonia. You were a
Hoya, like plant Hoya. I think that was
yes.
Yes. So wow, that's amazing that you've been acting for a really long time.
Yeah. And I just love it. It's what I love the most.
What was the first like role that you ever played? I'm so curious about that.
Like as a kid in high school?
Yes.
I was just talking to my friend about this yesterday. The one that sticks out the most is I was juror number 9 in 12 Angry Men.
I was number 10. Okay.
Oh, cool. Small world.
Yeah.
I am originally from Ukraine. I'm from Kiev. And I went to high school in Austria. So but I went to like an international high school. So I was the foreign person. So that's why they were like, oh, typecast, juror number 9.
Oh my God.
But so that one sticks out quite a bit. And then my art teacher directed this like performance piece called Lenore, which was based on The Raven. And it was more of a dance kind of movement piece, and I played Lenore. I used to ballroom dance competitively. back
my
back
God.
in the day. So I yeah, so I love the movement aspect of performing as well.
Wow. Well, I love Lenore and the Raven. Those are one of my favorite pieces. Oh my God. I hope one day I get to watch some footage of you like ballroom dancing.
Oh my gosh, that was like back before footage was a thing.
Oh God.
Wow.
Yeah, it was mostly like I don't know. I mean, ballroom dancing was a huge thing in Eastern Europe and
Wow.
in Austria. We used to like do the Viennese waltz at different occasions. Just like it was just like what I did as a kid, which is
Incredible.
yeah. But no TikTok back then.
Yeah. Oh my God, that is so fascinating. I did not know any of these things about you. Thank you for sharing that. And then my last question is like, well, what are like, I mean, you mentioned movement, but like, what are your other favorite things about acting that you enjoy?
I think it is just getting to know different people and their walks of life and what makes them tick, what makes them laugh, what makes them cry. I just love exploring the human life. And I was just started listening to Viola Davis's memoir, and I was driving. I had an appointment this morning, and I was like crying in my car because it's a beautiful, beautiful memoir. But I'm really fascinated by human beings and what makes us who we are and human and like, living.
Yes. And she's one of my favorite actors, like How to Get Away with Murder. That is one of my favorite shows that like I still go back and rewatch certain episodes just to see like her performance because she's incredible in it. So I have to check out that memoir.
And she reads her own memoir too, so it's like double. It's like very,
Oh my God.
very good. I recommend.
Oh my God, I have to check it out because I mean she's like so profound. Like whenever she speaks, I'm like, oh my God, that sounds so good. So thank you. And I'm glad you're enjoying the experience in the workshop. So thank you for sharing that. And now I want to direct the same question to the actor J.M. Bowden. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get, the acting bug and your experience as an actor in our writer's workshop?
Yes. Hi, my name is John Michael Bowen. And I really got into acting around high school, same as Marie. Um, I had just moved to a new high school. I knew nobody there, and I just needed something to like get myself connected with people. And
Mhm.
so theater was the best way for me to do that. Um, and
Great.
I found the workshop through Backstage. Um, and it was the first time I met you actually,
Yeah.
through this workshop, and I'm having an amazing time.
Oh my God, thank you. I love your acting. You bring something like carefree to the roles that you've done up to this point. And also like some depth in there too. Like it's like a combination and it's really wonderful to watch. And I'm so happy you responded to my writer's workshop casting notice.
Yes, thank
um,
you.
yeah, so that's wonderful. So did you grow up in New York or did you grow up somewhere else and then move here or?
Yes, I was born and raised in Barbados. That's
Okay.
where I started my training, and then I moved to New York during the pandemic for school. So
No way.
yeah, I just completed my final year at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and you were basically my first job out of college. So
Oh my God. So
Nice.
wow. I'm sorry, Gus, go ahead if you wanted to
No,
say
so
something.
nice. That's very cool. Like, we'll take the credit. Of
So
being good.
so what was that like moving here during the pandemic? Because it was kind of like a very quiet time. How did that feel? Like,
it was interesting because back home everything was completely shut down, locked down. I was in the middle of a production actually of the musical The Theory of Relativity, and we had to stop rehearsing and filming, and that was heartbreaking. And then to have like a year and a half of like no work, no in-person theater, to then move to theater school when it was we're all in mask. Then shows were just starting to come back, so at least I was able to like see work emerge. but
Mhm.
still, it was like you're learning how to navigate Zoom and all the digital stuff, as well as the physical, learning how to be in physical proximity again. So
Mhm.
it's like both challenging, but also interesting to like do something that's never really been done before in life, you know?
Totally. Gus, I don't know if you have any questions for JM further.
No, but I can agree on that whole Zoom thing. It was very hard for me. You know, I'm like obviously way older than you, and I've always been in person type of, you know, audition. I like to audition in person. Um, I'm Hispanic and part Italian, so I talk a lot with my hands, as you can see in my whole physicality, you know. And I really felt weird and limited by Zoom, but it was something that we had to learn to deal with, just like this. So yeah, it was like um a whole new ball game, and now it looks like unless something changes, we are going to be kind of stuck with this for quite a while. You know, auditioning on Zoom or sending, you know, having casting directors ask for impossible things that you can only do in person, but they want you to do it on Zoom. So yeah, I hear you.
Yep, totally agree.
Mhm.
Mm.
And I think it's so courageous of you to move to New York during that time. That says a lot about your like commitment to theater and acting. So,
Yeah,
I,
yeah, it was an odyssey, for lack of a better word, a total odyssey.
do you have some family here, or are they all in Barbados?
Luckily, I do have family in New York, so I had that support going for me. So I was able to get through with
Okay,
that.
good. I'm glad because when you're by yourself, I mean, people move here all the time, by themselves. But if you have like your family or friends, then it makes things a little bit like easier. So that's good. Well, thank you for being part of the workshop. And, I feel like we will work more together beyond that. So I'm really looking forward to
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yes, please. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, for sure. I'm writing, as you guys know, I'm constantly working on things and I'm writing a lot of stuff. So I will definitely let you know. um, and now I want to talk to Kristina. Hi, Kristina. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. So I believe it was Michael Radley that connected us, right? You guys
Yes.
go to the Barrow group together?
Yeah, so we had just completed acting two at the Barrow Group. And he was the one, yeah, that recommended this the workshop. And I love it. It's great.
Thank you. So how did you get into acting? How did it all start for you?
Yeah, so I started when I was in middle school. I was just talking to my mom, having a conversation. I was like, I kind of want to figure out how to get into the Syracuse theater scene. And so she ended up calling Syracuse Stage and asking, like I have, this child in middle school who's interested, like how do they go about getting in plays? And she recommended this group called the Media Unit. And so I went in for an audition. I got in. They were just starting a new play because the media unit, unfortunately, it's no longer around. But it was a Syracuse-based teen performance and television production group that would do an average of 60 live stage performances a year, and then we would do a bi-weekly live public access show in Syracuse. And it was all centered around teen concern. And even though Walt Shepard, who is the founder and producer of it, who sadly passed a couple years back, he would allow the teens to write the monologues and dialogues. And so they would create new shows every year about various topics. Like the one that I was getting into was one about relationships and understanding what's healthy and what's not. And there were shows about race. Syracuse was going through there was a issue with gang violence, and so some of the officials talked to Walt and was like, would you be able to put on a show about this? And so we did one about that. We did one about immigration, and then mental health. And we would go to like high schools and also travel around other parts of New York. Actually, the first time I ever performed in New York City was at some random cafe in Brooklyn.
Oh my God.
And we
So
were doing like a performance about like drug use and teenagers, teenagers and drug use. And it was such a cool experience. And so actually that's why I wanted to move to New York City. And so I started with them. And then from there, like I did some high school productions. And then in college, I did a couple productions. And I ended up weeding away from acting and then going into film. Like I'm currently working in film and accounting. And after that, I was like, I really do miss like performing. Like I'm going to all of these like theatrical performances around New York, and there's so many great like smaller theaters that have like beautiful like black box shows. And I was like, I just want to get my foot in the door with that. And so I started at the Barrow Group, did the acting one class, I think back in 2022. And then this past year, did this one with Michael, and that led me to all of you beautiful people.
Oh.
So that's upstate New York. Am I like completely like
Yeah, so
in
it's
the
in
wrong
central New
state?
York, so it's
Syracuse
like,
upstate.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it's all the
All
way
right.
up there.
That's cool. No, I know. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a long way from Manhattan, but it's that's
Definitely
great.
is.
Yeah.
No, Syracuse has a great theater scene, because we would
Cool.
also perform at Syracuse Stage at the Black Box Theater there. And they put on fantastic performances. So it was great to be just a part of that theater
Yeah.
community.
There are pockets like here in New Jersey we have New Brunswick.
Mhm.
There's like there's a in New Brunswick there's a street. It's called George Street, and it has all these theaters that are really basically like off-Broad. They put on these off-Broadway productions. But the thing about that is like, they're so close to New York City that you kind of have to find them, because most people
Mhm.
gravitate towards Manhattan and Broadway, but it's worth it. We have the Paper Mill Playhouse too. That's this is like something that a lot of people don't know, but a lot of shows I know for a fact that Honeymoon in Vegas with Tony Danza opened there to get a sense of the audience reception before they went on to Broadway. And they
That's
do
so
that.
cool.
And you can see these great shows with the same stars that will be performing on Broadway, but like for like pennies on the dollar. And not a
Mhm.
lot of folks know that, because it's not Broadway, but
Yeah, and I will say that's one of the sad things about especially a lot of people who don't live within the city. There's so many great theaters around New York in general that aren't on Broadway or off Broadway that have fantastic actors, great playwrights, and it's just such a shame that people aren't going out there and seeing those performances, 'cause they're always so beautiful.
mhm.
Totally agree. And Kristina, going back to what you were saying earlier about Syracuse, I think that is so awesome that you have that experience, because it seems like you were all doing like a lot of projects like back to back. And I love that it was like a lot of social issues, things that were going on and well are still going on in the world. And also like
Yeah.
you mentioned that you even like had writing monologues too, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah, it
um
was really cool. And I will say, like, it was great to allow the teens to have that control. Of course, like Walt
mhm.
was overseeing everything, making sure it was flowing, and he would let us know if something wasn't quite working. But it was great to be able to experience that because, and we could also write our own characters. Like we could write any character we want. And so it was cool to be able to dive into that.
Yes, that's awesome. That gives you like a nice foundation, I think. I mean, it's just my humble opinion as you move into your acting career and like, and I'm sure with the Barrow Group too, and now you're in film, but having that foundation, I think it
Mhm.
makes you like a versatile actor. So I think that's wonderful. And I have to say, Kristina just read a monologue in one of my like new plays.
Yes.
And I just want you to know I'm working on that, and I love the character that you read. So as soon as that's done, I'll let you know where I am. But
Okay,
you're
I'm so excited because like as soon as I read that monologue, I was like, and also just like seeing just how things are being pieced together. I'm
Mhm.
so excited to see like what direction it goes in.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I think I'm gonna just like a small spoiler, like bring the characters together at some point, like connect them. Like
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
yeah, it may be just like, you know, they'll each have the monologue according to like the stage that they're in. And then
Mhm.
somehow I think I'm gonna connect them. I just don't know like at what point. So I think I'm trying to work on that. But I will definitely let you know because you read the piece for Anna, the character Anna, and I love the way you did that. And the title, I will say what
Thank
the
you.
title is. Yeah, you were wonderful. It's called Dear Diary, A Confession of Monologues. So that is the title.
Oh, I
So
love that. I love that.
yeah, so yeah, you're a wonderful actor. So I want everyone to know that.
Thank you.
All of you are so extremely talented, so wonderful. I am like super grateful for each of you. And now, Laurie, since Gus is your #1 fan, I am going to turn it over
I didn't know
to him
that.
so he can talk to you about everything you're doing right now, which is amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, but just quick, history on it. Julia wrote a play like a couple of years ago, and she edited it into the Secret Theater Festival, and Suzanne Pinedo and Laurie were the original cast, and I got to direct it, and we had a lot of fun. So shout out to Suzanne if she's watching, if she's gonna watch. But yeah, I'm a big fan of naturalistic actors, which Laurie, you are. You don't ever look like you're acting. You're just, the lines just, they just come out of your mouth like this is the first thing you were thinking of saying, whatever. So I really enjoy the performances. I really enjoy the rehearsal process. But I also know that you've written a couple of plays or maybe more. I don't know. I read in one of them lately at the workshop, and you said that you wrote them a long time ago. So tell us about what you were thinking at the time. You tell us about your career and what what your mindset, because as people, you never are the same person, that or I should say your frame of mind is different when you're very young than as you get a little older, you change perspective. So give us that evolution between when you wrote the play and where you are now.
Okay. Yeah, I wrote that play like 10,000 years ago.
There you go.
After college, but when I was trying to think when I started writing plays, and I took a playwriting class in college, and that's when I started writing plays. And then senior year, we had to do a senior project, and I wanted to do acting, and they wouldn't let me. They said, you have to do writing, So I wrote and directed 2 plays for that. And then I went on to, it's mostly about acting. Then I went on to, graduate school for acting and stuff. And I was in this theater group that also did a comedy review, and I did write a skit for that was in it. But basically I was writing plays. I think I might have been taking a class or a workshop, but I was writing plays for a while, but I never tried to have them done or anything. I just did it. And then pretty much I stopped. And I've written some monologues, but that's it. And I really wanted to get back to writing, and I just couldn't. I mean, I would try sometimes, but I would get so focused on what should this play be about, because I like writing dialogue, but then I'd get to, oh, but what's the, plot. And then I was talking about that with Julia, and she said, why not use one of your old plays as a way to get back into it? So that was a great idea. I had to type them up because I wrote them that long ago. And we've been working in the workshop on one of them. We've done the first 2 scenes. There's one more. And I didn't change anything because that's what Julia said, leave it the way it is. But especially this 3rd scene, I definitely there are things I don't like, or ways I want it to be different. So I definitely have ideas to do that.
Mhm.
And, you know, I have a lot other plays, but I think after this, I am gonna start something new, but just, you know, just ease into it. But the workshop has just been fantastic. I mean, it's really made a difference in my life. It got me writing again. And then the actors, like you said, are fabulous. And, you know, you get the feedback is great too. And the tools and the support. You know, I think that's huge too, to feel like, okay, I can do this kind of thing. And it's really been fun, and it's kind of like it's a relief that it's gotten me finally back to doing some writing. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, so that's what I was wondering. I mean, like, if you go back to look at a project that you did, you know, like whatever, 30, 40
Yeah.
years ago,
Yeah.
is it, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot. I don't know what Julia told you, but because Julia, like, you know, is a big cheerleader, like, oh yeah, you know, let's do this, let's do this. And but I'm sure you had a lot of stuff to revise, or, you know, but like I said, when I read for it, I had a part in it. I felt that it had a very kind of, it was very, it was kind of period, and like I could see, as I mentioned, um it had this kind of Neil Simon-esque kind of feel to it, like the late 60s, early or mid 70s, that I agree with Julia. I wouldn't change that, because it kind of, it feeds into the conflict that the characters are going through. It was really fun to do, and I want to see this third act that you're writing.
Okay.
Definitely.
And even when I wrote it, I set it further back in time, you know, so even then, and yes, I think some of the issues that are in the play were part of that era too, you know, more with women.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
I have to say, Laurie, I am so happy you're reconnecting with writing again. I'll just say one general thing about the current play that you have in our workshop, and I actually have read the third scene already because you sent it to me, but you know, we'll talk about that in our session. But you have this gift as a writer of like the way that you shape your characters. They are very relatable, very realistic, over the top, and funny. Like, you know, I can identify people that I know in my family that are similar to these characters. And that, you know, as a writer, that you're able to do that, I think that's really amazing. And also you add a deeper meaning in that, you know. So there's, you know, more like going on than what's in the surface. So I'm really happy that you're writing again, and I'm happy that I give you a gentle push, like, come on, Laurie, join the workshop.
right. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, when you're happy with what you've written and you're ready to put it out there, you know, I would love it to be part of a Genoveva Productions
Right.
event. So that is gonna happen, guys. So look out for that coming
Let's do
up
it.
when Laurie's ready. No pressure. No pressure.
Right.
No pressure. Like, have
Right.
it next week.
But
And
but that's also another incentive, you know, another way that you're motivating me, like, ooh, yeah, right, a goal. Yeah.
Yeah. So and you, I don't know, I think you mentioned this, well, or maybe I'll just ask you. Are you looking to write more? Like, are you looking to revisit
Yes.
some things, or writing new things? Like, where are you with like
Yeah,
future
definitely. I
plans?
definitely want to write more. Yeah.
Great. I'm so happy because that, yeah, you really have like a talent for, in addition to acting, playwriting as well. So that's wonderful.
And the nice thing about writing is you can do it. You don't have to wait for someone to allow you to do it like acting. So in between, but even
Yeah.
while it's going on, but it's nice to have something creative to be able to do if I'm not in a play or something right now.
Yeah, exactly. And then for, you know, for me personally as a playwright, what I like about the workshop is, because sometimes well, at least for me, like if I'm writing alone, sometimes like you're scared of adding something new. You're like, oh, I don't know, it's gonna suck. But then like when I bring it in and I share it, then I'm like, oh, like I challenge myself. So that's
Right.
one feature that I really like. Or like the new play that I'm working on now, I think, I don't know why, but the workshop inspired me to write it. Otherwise, I don't know if I would have like let my mind like get that creative. So yeah, well, I am so happy to have talked to everyone today. And Laurie, now you're a playwright too. So now I'm just wondering, like, what does everyone have coming up? Any upcoming projects or anything that we should be on the lookout for?
Yeah,
have no
and
question.
everybody, I'm sorry, but you can turn on your cameras and jump in, whatever.
Okay,
Well,
well, I'm saying I have an audition for a play at 2 o'clock today, so fingers crossed.
Yay.
Break a leg. I know you're getting that role, Laurie.
I hope so.
Yes, I do have some stuff coming up I can go ahead. So I have two big things I can talk about, I'm allowed to talk about. One is, funny enough, thanks to this workshop, I've been starting to write my own stuff as well.
Great.
So fingers crossed, hopefully I can put that forward. And then the other thing is that I'm a part of a devised clown piece called Mad, Mad, Mad. It is a clown show set in the 80s, based on 80s small town America and the Cold War. And we're going to be producing and performing it later down in the year. We have a fundraiser right now, so.
Incredible. That's
Yeah.
awesome, JM. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, hopefully once we have everything settled, I can send it forward and you all can see.
Yeah,
Yes. Let me
please.
know.
Absolutely.
I'll post it on my, social media platforms. And if you want to come on, it's gonna get Artsy and talk about it, please, you're more than welcome to. So let me know like the steps in that and when you're ready to talk about it more. That's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, totally. Thank you.
Yes, let me know. I will remind you. I'll be like, hi, JM, remember what you talked about?
Yep, I got you.
Anyone else is currently working on something or has anything coming up?
Well, I'm excited because we're starting rehearsal soon for What Cheer. I'm so excited to be a part of this. And having been a part of this workshop from the beginning of Karen's journey of how, and it's amazing how it developed from day one to what we're working with now. It's wild. It's beautiful. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that.
I am too. So that's coming in July. Hell's Kitchen. We're gonna have a stage reading of 6 performances, and actually, to give you like a little inside scoop on that, I just finalized the cast. So that we had a chemistry reading. Marie Wool was part of it, and Gus as well. And I have made my final decision. I've discussed it with Karen. I've sent out the official casting email. So flyer will be coming soon with all the information. But yeah, it's gonna be second or third week of July, and I'll definitely let everyone know. But we're so excited about that. So yeah, yes, Marie, and you are amazing in that. So I can't wait to work on it more. Kristina, what about you?
So I actually took an accounting job in Atlantic City, leaving today back for New York. So now I'll actually be able to focus and look to see what projects are coming up that I can hop on to. Yeah.
Great. And it's a great time because now it's spring, usually the winter when it snows, it's like things get a little like postponed, but now it's like
Everything is moving. Yeah.
Yeah, I think once spring rolls around in New York, there's like this new energy and people start like, I don't know, be more active, I guess, because the weather is nice, which makes total sense. So yeah, I can't wait to see what new projects you get involved in. So
yeah, I'll keep you all updated.
Yeah, but we'll still see you at the workshop, hopefully.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I will be there.
Same with Michael, by the way. We're talking about him. He's another, and he, by his own admission, started working not as an actor, not that long ago, but he's a very someone who he just sounds natural, sounds, and I'm a big fan of that. So shout out to
Oh
him
yeah,
when he watches
absolutely. No,
this.
shout out to Michael.
Yeah.
He is
Michael
like so great.
Radley,
Every
my
single scene
friend.
he was in, he like knocked it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Michael Riley is amazing. And actually, that is how Marie, Michael, and I met. We did that show called Plan Ho with Manhattan Rep, and we were dressed as plants dancing together at one point on the stage. That was like a lot of fun. So yeah, he is a very talented actor, and just a great person all around. So everyone, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it. I'm beyond thrilled that we, had a moment to talk and get to know each other better. And I hope there's more conversations like this. Thank you again. You're so talented and just wonderful people. And please let me know what is coming up for you, because I'll be there in the front audience cheering you all on. So thank you. This has been amazing. Gus, any last word?
No, just come back. Well, yes, since I'm gonna say no and continue talking, but just come. If you have a project, like I said, we don't pretend to be, star bakers or whatever. And we don't become millionaires from doing this. But it is fun and it is gratifying to provide some kind of a forum for actors to promote their projects and create a little buzz, hopefully, for your next project. So if you get one more audience member to come see you, or a couple of friends or whatever, because they saw you talking about it in this forum, that's good enough for us. So just come back, talk about your next project, talk about whatever, and you'll always be welcome.
Yes, and I enjoy getting to know everyone beyond the workshop and knowing just a little bit of background about how you got the acting bug. And I will say that it's so interesting that I think all of you started acting when you were like in middle school or high school, because I speak for myself and maybe Gus too. Like, I didn't really get into acting until much later in life. Like, I was like in my late 20s. When I was little, I love to read and write in my journal and things like that, but I didn't get the bug till many, many years later. So it's so interesting that you all started acting when you were like at a very early age. And that's fascinating, because I'm like, wow, I wonder what that must have been like.
Yeah, and I have to say, one thing that struck me, and I didn't know this, out of like a panel of like 6 people, like 4 are like basically from another country, right? Immigrants that came here. And this is, I know this, I don't want to be controversial, and it's probably a subject for a whole entire full installment, but I never, as an actor, as a Hispanic actor, as an immigrant, I never felt like I had to be like, oh, I need to see someone who looks like me doing this. No, I just want to do this, and I'm going to do it, and whatever, So I don't know, how other people, feel about that. I guess some folks need to see some kind of role model. But that's, like I said, but it is suggested that we have so many diverse backgrounds. All doing kind of like involved in this kind of thing that we do in acting. So like I said, that may be another subject for another show.
Yes. That's one thing about art, artists are people of all ages, all backgrounds, different races, and that's what's one of the wonderful aspects about it. And we have this like opportunity to create, which is amazing. So on that note, as you talented artists that you are, thank you so much for being on today. It's gonna get artsy. I will see you at the workshop or any projects you have coming up. Gus and I will be there to cheer you on all the way.
Thank you.
So have
Thank
a wonderful day.
Thank you.
And for our viewers, if you love these It's Gonna Get Artsy episodes, just hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. And until next time, Gus,
Good
till
night.
next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Okay. Bye. Thank you so much.